Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope all of you are recuperating. I know I am. Covered myself in barbecue sauce. Then I turned out the lights. We'll get to that later, Larry. All right. Recently, ESPN's Samantha Ponder expressed support for athletes speaking out against biological men who keep trying to compete with women in sports. You know, the guys who keep putting the meat in swim meet. That's disgusting. Ponder tweeted, "I barely said anything publicly about this issue, and I've had so many people message me, stop me in the street to say thank you, and tell me stories about girls who are afraid to speak up for fear of lost employment or being called hateful. But it's not hateful to demand fairness in sports for girls." And she's right. That's logical. That's fair. It's based on irrefutable scientific fact. So what happens next? Well, liberals in the media are furious because, well, they're stupid. And what do they do to a woman speaking out against the bullying of women? They bully her, of course. Riding in on her broomstick is Nancy Armour, a ghastly sports columnist for USA Today, the official doormat for Americans staying at low-priced hotels. If the La Quinta Inn goes out of business, so does she. The god-awful Armour writes, quote, "Don't be fooled by the people who screech about fairness to cloak their bigotry towards transgender girls and women. This is and always was about hate, fear, and ignorance." Well, if you're talking about her columns, you couldn't be more right. They suck. This broad accuses Ponder of screeching, but she's not the one leveling unprovable accusations. It seems to me old Nance is projecting like a drive-in theater. How about this gem? Quote, "I'm at a loss as to how a transgender woman going to a gynecologist takes anything away from anyone, or how it's any of Ponder's business." Yeah. Well, the rest of us are wondering why a transgender woman needs to go to a gynecologist. Unless she's suffering from jock itch. I've been there. But it's like a USA Today writer going to see a brain surgeon. What's to operate on? Armour then accuses Ponder of piling on a group that is already amongst the most vulnerable in our society. So who's she talking about? Men. She's talking about men. See, here's the thought process. All men are evil right up to the moment they decide they're actually women. Then suddenly their rights override everybody else's rights, especially women who have been women the whole damn time. But Nance is a female sports writer, not a young superlative athlete, so that might be the problem here. Envy, failure, spite. She's not a winner like they are, and she hates them for it. But I'll bet Armour still considers herself a feminist. And I'm not saying that because she looks like a young Pete Rose. Thank you.
What the hell did Pete Rose do to anybody?
I know. But most feminists don't try to ruin the careers and lives of other young women. And calling someone a bigot, minus any evidence, is an attempt to do just that. And so Armour just created a new athletic event, throwing women under the bus. Hopefully a man is driving the bus and will skillfully avoid hitting them.
A sexist would say.
Just making sure you're awake. Accusations of bigotry are a dime a dozen, especially from hacks. But it's not just name-calling, it's actually a serious slander, for the accusation carries social stigmas that will follow you online forever. And that's the point, isn't it? That the threat of the smear will scare you into silence, which is what Omar hopes to do to high-level female athletes. Suddenly, pro-women athletes are now redefined as anti-trans. And what happens when you're labeled that? Well, just ask J.K. Rowling, whose life was turned upside down by unhinged, rabid activists. Of course, it's a sign of the weakness in their argument. Rather than debate, they denunciate, they smear. And when you assert the obvious that men and women are indeed different and placing bio-men among women will be unfair in sports, they will call you a bigot. Because, well, at least she is a profoundly political anti-science hack. But screw her and the smears she wrote in on. Basic human biology isn't going to change no matter how many cruddy columns Nancy craps out. Terrible writing might be in her DNA, but a Y chromosome isn't. Let's welcome tonight's guests. He hides his money in his socks and fastens them with locks. Host of Kudlow on Fox Business, Larry Kudlow. His act is a laugh a minute, which actually isn't a lie. At actor, comedian, and writer, Jamie Lissow. She needs a running start to use a stapler. Fox News contributor, Kat Timm. And finally, the Grand Canyon is his cereal bowl. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tyrus. There you go. So, Jamie, I was just thinking, it's always a pleasure to see you here. If you were a trans athlete, do you think it would have prevented your divorce?
Oh, man.
Stretch. That is the meanest, worst question.
I'm trying to break the ice.
Okay?
I'm trying to break the ice.
Break the ice, you shattered the ceiling.
I don't think anything would have prevented it. Sorry to get rid of the following questions you have for the next 10 episodes. That really made... This story, by the way.
Yes.
By the way, that was really cool. I didn't even have to respond. Tyrus had my back. It felt good.
Yeah, man.
I felt safe.
I could be nice.
This story, like, you know me, like, I can be liberal sometimes
Right, yes.
when I'm pouring drinks or describing my penis over the phone.
Whoa.
But these guys,
Don't call him after 8.
part of this was they didn't even.
I'm so glad to be here.
I should have warmed up into that one. But it's upsetting to watch for me. I feel bad for the kids. The worst thing I've ever seen is when this happens in MMA. There's nothing worse.
Yeah.
I watched it looked like a big actual man, and it looked like he was fighting it looked like abuse.
Right.
Honestly, like I was disgusted. Like I pulled my pants up, I turned it off, and.
One more?
I can't even finish. I don't know, just no.
No.
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, that one felt pretty good. No, I just think calling her a bigot is. At first, I was like, I think they misspelled biologist.
That's good.
Okay.
That was a good, clean joke.
Thank you.
People are going to write in and say, why doesn't Jamie do more jokes like that instead of talking about his genitalia? Larry Kudlow. What does it say about USA Today? USA Today is like a kind of a husk of a paper, and they need hot takes for clickbait. Is that kind of the business model here? Because you are the businessman.
I'm really glad to be here tonight.
Yeah,
I
excellent.
want to thank you for inviting me, particularly with this topic.
Yes.
I don't have much to say in defense of USA Today. Mm-hmm. I do think, however, biological males should not play in female sports. Mm-hmm. Okay? I think that's the key point. And I've thought long and hard about this. Mm-hmm. And so beyond that early point that I just made, I just wanted to know if you realized that the Kevin McCarthy deal on the debt ceiling is really terrific. Mm-hmm. He completely spun Biden around, cutting $2 trillion. It's a record amount. No tax increases, caps on future spending, and it's really going to help economic growth and reduce inflation. Mm-hmm. I know that was implied in your question, so I just thought I'd fill it in.
Don't you hate the farce of the debt ceiling, where everybody in cable TV pretends it's the end of the world? You could just turn it off and turn it on in a week, and everything's the same. I swore on the 5 we would never do the debt ceiling thing because it's so fake. Mm. And also, what the hell is a debt ceiling? Shouldn't it be the debt floor?
Money.
Like, what is it is such a farce. We're over that, Larry. Take your debt ceiling crap. Get it out of here.
It's sort of the transgenderism of economics.
It really is.
Well, there we go. There we go.
You brought it together.
Brought it all together.
Yeah.
So far.
Larry Kudlow.
I just want to be part of the spirit of the show.
Kat, what do you make of this? You're a writer. She often takes political angles, but I just feel that, what does she know about sports, really?
Yeah, she probably didn't want to spend that much time on it. I mean, it was a holiday weekend.
Yeah, that's right. This came out on Memorial Day.
Exactly, which is how you get crap like this.
Yes.
Because she doesn't want to work that hard, and neither do the editors.
Yes.
Because everybody wants the time off. Everybody's off. And I think that's how you get an article that is just lacking any sort of attempt at evidence to make the points. Because nowhere in the article did she claim, there's no evidence that somebody goes through, male puberty would have advantages over a woman in sports, because there is evidence that suggests that. And when you say, just throw the word bigotry at anybody who thinks that that's a possibility, then you're completely diluting the whole entire thing. But again, it's probably hard to find people to write over the holiday weekend.
Yes, that's a good point. Last word to you, Tyrus.
I think it's we're talking about her, so mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing now today is you don't need to have an argument, because you really shouldn't be debating these individuals, because it's not an exchange of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The only person who has an idea is the one who came in, the normal person who's trying to understand, and their idea changes to, why did I just waste my time?
Right.
She wrote that article, and now she's become a champion for them. So chances are she's going to get more opportunities, because that makes no sense. That used to be, we used to make fun of like brothers who would have excuses for failing. It was always the teacher's racist. My girlfriend dumped me because she's racist.
Yeah.
That's right. It took a while, and then she attached all the dots and realized he was black and left me in a second. Like, really? Or it wasn't because you're a jerk who was cheating. It was because your girlfriend was slow racist. So what we're seeing is that it's a thing.
Slow racism.
It's like slow. It takes you a long time to realize that there's no definition of a woman. I'm still stuck with the actual definition of what a woman is. But isn't it the most toxic, masculine male thing to do, to hop out of a division you can't compete in and show up and compete against somebody smaller than you? Isn't that like the worst guy? We've seen them all in the playground and stuff, like the 13-year-old kid who jumps in with the 7-year-olds to play soccer. No one's cheering for him. No one's
they
saying,
did cheer for me once.
"Oh, good job." Good. They're like, "Wow, look at this guy. What does he play with someone his own size or his own age?" Well, same question to the transgender dudes who are attacking women, and the MMA thing was awful.
Yeah, Fallon
It was
Fox.
absolutely awful. And we need to be able to say no. It's becoming a new thing. Like, you're going to get asked 2 questions when you run for office now, or you apply for a job. Do you know what a woman is? And should men be able to be women in women's sports?
Yeah.
And if you say no and no, then you can only work here.
Yeah. You can answer that in one question. You can go, I know what a woman is. That's not a woman.
Yeah.
And, also
And
with
thank you
running,
for your
like-
time.
Thank you for your time.
With running, you don't want to reach back and the baton's attached.
And I think Larry, how's that debt ceiling looking? Pretty good,
I tried.
You did.
I really tried.
Jamie's
cannot
not a big
change
fan
topics.
of ceilings.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.